There we go. Okay. All right. So, like I said, for tonight, we're going to do food. The first sign we are going to do is the sign for food itself and also eat. Food and eat are very similar, so that's why they're together. So for the first sign for food, it's food. 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 And you want to make sure you at least, you can do it 20 different times, but at least make sure you do more than once. So 2, 3, most of the time it's 2. But one is a different meaning, and we'll get to that. So food. And then eat. So the sign for eat is going to be this one motion. Eat. And that happens with a couple of different signs as well. For like action words, for example, like chair and sit, it's that same sort of thing. And it's just a nice little, almost like a cue, like it helps guide to knowing, okay, you're actually just talking about food in general, or no, I'm eating it. It kind of doesn't simplify, but it changes it, makes more sense, if that makes sense. Okay. Now the next one we're going to have is the sign for fruit. So the fruit is going to be an F. You're going to have it in the corner of your mouth and you're going to go fruit. Fruit. And fun fact while we're here, there is also people, a lot of kids at my school sign this for ketchup, and then we'll sign ketchup, which is very similar to fruit. So they do this for ketchup. Some other people will do ketchup, like that ketchup bottle, like the really old glass ketchup bottles where you had to like pound on the bottom to get it to go out. So ketchup, but most of the time I see this now. So I always add that in there with the fruit because they're so close together. All right, now we'll get on some actual fruit. So the first one I have is apple. So apple is going to be an X, and you're going to put it on the corner of your mouth and you're going to go apple. Apple. Sorry, I was letting them outside. If they started barking now, I knew they were going to keep going. So I was like, might as well let them out now. All right. So we had apple. And then the next one is orange, which is orange. Orange. I almost think about like you're holding an actual orange and you're squeezing it for the juice. I don't know why that's what my mind thinks, but it does. This is also for the color orange. So that's kind of nice that they have the same one for this. Oh, excuse me. So orange as the fruit and orange as the color. The next one is strawberry, and that is going to be strawberry. So yeah, I always do it this way. This is the sign for private, like secret, private. And I always will do that when I'm talking about fruit. And I did that my first year. And I remember one of my students looked at me and went, what's the secret fruit? And I was like, no, it's pink. And I was describing it. And they looked at me and goes, strawberry? And I was like, oh, my mistake. So strawberry. And then secret. I was so embarrassed with that mistake. But I still, even now, I'll start it. I'm like, which way do I go? So strawberry. The next one is grapes. And what you're going to do is you're going to have your non-dominant hand. Your dominant is going to go boop, 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 boop. So it's like grapes on the vines. So like bunches of grapes. Most of the time when if you're describing the green, the green or the purple grapes, you do the color sign, which I think, have we sent that out yet? No. Okay. That one, because the colors are very simple. We have a video of it and we send it out. I will let Miss Katie know and we will send that out as well. But so for like purple, for example, it's a P and you shake it. So purple grapes. I guess we call them red grapes, don't we? Well, red is just one pointer finger down. Yeah, red and then purple, whichever way you guys say it. I tend to think purple because grapes are purple, but then it was hitting me. I'm like, think we actually in English say red grapes. Anyways, the next one is banana. And that is banana. So it's like you make the motion of you're peeling a banana. Banana. Then we have peach. And peach is going to be peach. And this is like peach fuzz on our face. That was my first when I remember someone when I was learning this. I'm trying to remember which class it was I learned this one in. They immediately were like, oh, like peach fuzz. Yes, do you have a question? No, it's just high five. Okay, making sure. So we have peach. And then our last fruit that I have is tomato. I did have this in the vegetables one time. I know it's a fruit, but we had not a big debate, but we had a big debate about it because I messed up. So I put it always in here. Tomato is going to be red. So red and then slice. So it's like I have kind of like a flat and I'm cutting. Yeah. So red slice. It's not actually got its sign of its own. It's putting two together. So you put red with the sign for slicing together, which I know it's a little like, it's almost like, oh, that's a little sad. You don't have your own, but that's okay. All right. The next one we're going to is now vegetables. So the sign for vegetable, it's going to be vegetable. It's going to be the V with our pointer finger again, the corner of our mouth. And you shake it back and forth like we did our fruit. Vegetable. The first one I have is corn. Corn has a couple of ways you can do it. One is corn, like you have the corn on the cob and you go back and forth. Another one, this is more common, is corn. Corn. This one always makes me think of brushing your teeth though. So I don't know. My mind is always like, I'm going to think this way, but this one is more common. I've seen corn. Corn. The next one is my favorite, and it's potato. So the sign for potatoes, you're going to have your non-dominant as a fist, and your dominant is going to be in 2 X's, and you're going to tap potato. And this is also the sign for chips, like potato chips. So if you were just trying to make a difference, usually, like I say, you can kind of figure it out with, like, for example, like if you're talking about, Thanksgiving, you're having potatoes. You're not most likely not going to have chips with it. You're more likely to have potatoes with your Thanksgiving dinner, or like hot dogs and chips, those kinds of things. If you ever kind of concerned someone's not going to know what you mean, you can always finger spell potato, like not potato, finger spell chips. I would still, for potato, just do this. Everyone knows this is potato. Chips would be the one that I'd be like, I'm worried you don't realize I'm talking about the chips, not actual potatoes. So, but there's that. Then the next one is cabbage/lettuce, because that's the same one. And what you're going to do is you're going to have the bottom of your hand is going to gently, do not hurt yourself, tap you on the forehead, like on the temple. And it's for that motion of like a head of lettuce. And I always think, because, usually when you get the lettuce, they're like, you have to peel back the leaf part. So lettuce. Then the next one is pickle. I think we might have done pickle before. I think I might have mentioned it before. If I haven't, it's okay. I can't remember. They blend together. But pickle is going to be, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can do it where you have like the P, and then you go the middle finger in your corner of your mouth and you go pickle. Pickle. The other way is just a pointer pickle with that sour kind of face. This one kind of blends. For me, it's easier for me thinking pickle, sour, candy. We talked about that last week for Halloween was candy, but there's also sour up here, and then there's pickle. And pickles are sour, but for me, I'm just always like, I need a little bit more of a separation between sour and pickle, so I do pickle. The next one is the one I just said, which is sour. So sour with that, ooh, like you just took a bite of a lemon. That is a fruit I forgot again. I did this every time. Every time I've done this class, I always forget lemon. And then I remember at the very end. I'm going to add that in here now before I forget it because I cannot believe I've done this again. Okay. Well, while we're here, because lemon is very close with sour, we're going to do lemon. So this is first sour. Lemon is going to be our thumb. And you go lemon, lemon. And it's again, just that sour motion. I love how like signs like that, like almost tie together. It makes so much sense. And for me, I'm such a visual person. I'm like, oh, it's like they're all just kind of combining together and it's beautiful. I don't know. It's just me. All right. The next one we have is sweet. So the sign for sweet is sweet. 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 Yep. Sweet. And this can be for sweet, like, oh, that cookie is very sweet. Or it also can be like, she's very sweet. That girl was very sweet. It can be both ways. Then we have hot. So the sign for hot, I'm actually going to add this in. I always put these together, but I'm going to separate them. So the sign for hot is going to be like your open hand. And you're going to start facing your mouth and you're going to go hot, hot. And I always think of it like being, I don't know, like those cartoons, you know, when you're a kid and they eat like a pepper or something, and then they go, ah, and the flames just coming out, hot. Like I just think of that, like it's just coming out, steam is coming out, hot. Then the next one is spicy. Some kids will do this for spicy. I've seen a couple of two newer ways. I was asking actually one of my coworkers about this because I tend to just do this for both. And I was curious if there was actually a side for spicy. And they showed me two ways. One being you have your fingers kind of bent and you go spicy. Spicy, like they're wiggling like here. I'll come like this. It's going to be like they're bouncing up and down away from you. And they're doing, yeah, spicy. And then the other one is spicy. Spicy. And this one I think is cool because it makes me think of like flames again. You know, it just flames coming out of your mouth. It's so spicy, like, oh, my mouth's on fire. Okay. Well, let me do this one and then we'll stop and go back because I know I've been going a little fast. So then the next one is the sign for cold. And the sign for cold is cold. Cold, like, woo, it's cold. Woo, cold. And that is, you can say that for like, I am cold, my food is cold, my drink is cold. You can do that. Yeah. Oh, well, let me add this. Sorry. I always like, I'm one of those people where like words just kind of keep coming with it. I'm making the sign for motion for crazy, but I'm trying to do like this, like they're coming out. If you're ever trying to say something is like frozen, like it's so cold, it's frozen, frozen, frozen. Yeah. Frozen. So like if you're talking about any kind of frozen thing, the reason I thought about that was there's one time their chocolate milk was so cold it had frozen and the kids were so upset and they kept looking at me going, my milk is frozen. I thought they meant it was cold. And then I finally looked at them like, that's a slushy. And they're like, it's frozen. So I think about that every time I think about cold because they were so upset. And I was like, it's chocolate milk, you guys. It's gonna be okay. You can get another one. And they're like, okay. I have a lot of drama queens and kings. It's how it goes. All right. So now let's go all the way back to our first one, which was food, and go through those again. So we have food, eat, that one time. And then we have fruit. Then we had apple. And then orange. Then strawberry. Grapes. banana, banana. Peach, peach. Lemon, lemon. Tomato, tomato. Tomato. Then we had our vegetables, vegetables. So it's my pointer finger. There you go. Yeah, vegetables. We had our corn, corn or corn, more common this. And then we have our potatoes, potatoes. Then we have cabbage / lettuce, which is this lettuce. Then we had pickle, pickle. And then sour, sour. Then sweet, sweet, sweet. Hot, hot, hot. And then spicy or spicy. Cold. And then frozen, frozen. Good, 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 good. Okay, so now we're on to more that I always say it this way, the more fun foods. So the first one I have for this is pizza. Pizza has two different ways you can do it. One is going to be, you have two X's and you go Z, you make a Z with it, pizza, pizza. The other one is going to be pizza, like you're holding a slice of pizza, pizza, pizza. Then we have salad. So the sign for salad is going to be salad. And it's like tossing the salad. That's always what I think about is when you go to those, or I guess when you see them also on TV, those very fancy salads, because my family and I were not those people. So, but you always saw when they would toss the salad in front of everybody. That's always what I think of. So, salad. Then we have hamburger. So hamburger is going to be hamburger. And so that is more, if you think about it, it's like making the patties. So hamburger. The next one is sandwich. So sandwich and hamburger are different signs. So sandwich is going to be sandwich. It's almost like you're holding it. Like I like they're bent. My hands are bent. Put them together, and then I hold it to my mouth. Sandwich. Then we have fish. So this is the sign for fish and this like food and the animal. Fish. 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 And it's like it's going woo, fish, like swimming all through the water. Fish. Then we have spaghetti. So for spaghetti, you're going to do the sign for pasta, which is you have your pinkies and you go pasta, pasta, spaghetti. This was one of our favorites, I remember as a kid. And not as a kid, as in class, not a kid, as in class. I mean, I was a kid. Anyways, losing train of thought. This was like one of our favorites. We thought it was so cute. So spaghetti. Then we have meat. So the sign for meat is going to be meat. And it's like you're grabbing it on a hook. Think about those old those old butcher shops that used to have the meat hanging up. It's like that. So it's your middle finger and your thumb are like the hooks and they're holding the meat. Meat. This is also the sign for like content, like the meat of, because in the quote, the phrasing is like the meat of the source. So like the information you're learning about is coming from the meat of the source. So content. I thought that was so interesting when I learned that because I would have thought there would have been a different one. They're like, nope, that one. Okay. Then we have chicken. And so it's chicken. This is also the sign for bird. This one, if you were talking more about a type of bird, like you had quail for dinner, something like that, I would actually finger spell it. This one's more when you see this talking about food, I think the first thought is chicken. So if you're talking about a different thing besides a chicken, I would make that motion of like, no, it's this. And then we have, now we're going to move on to our drinks. So the sign for drink is drink, drink. So it's just the motion of having a cup and drinking. The sign for cup is cup, cup. And then I did this one a little earlier, but I'm gonna do it again, obviously, because y'all, I was not telling you it. I was doing it in an example. Milk. So it's milk. Milk. Then we have juice, and it's juice, juice, juice. It's making that J, juice. Then we have water. I don't think we've done water, which is a little surprising. Usually I try to do this in the first one. Water is going to be a W. That pointer finger is going to touch the corner of your mouth, water. And this isn't just for water to drink. This is also for any type of water. So if you're talking about the ocean and those sort of things, you usually will do water and then do waves or make like the river motion. So, excuse me. So water, most of the time you can just say water, and that's going to be used for all of them. The next one is coffee. And so coffee is going to be two fists, and you're gonna keep them flat, but they go in circles around each other. Yeah, coffee. Then we have tea. So tea is going to be like you have a pretend cup, and you have the tea bag, and you go tea. So if you were going to say sweet tea, you would do sweet tea, sweet tea. And then our final drink, yes, is going to be soda. And so soda, there's not really a sign for stuff like Sprite, Diet Coke, Dr. Pepper. There's none of those. Usually you finger spell those out. But so for soda, it's soda. So you start with your middle finger in your like hand, you're pulling it out, and then you slam down. It's almost like how when you pull back and you open it, that soda. Okay. And then the last 4 that I have are desserts. So, you know, the fun stuff. The first one is cookie, and it's cookie, cookie, like you're holding a cookie in your hand, cookie. The next one is pie, and it's pie. I always think about like you're cutting a triangular piece out, pie. And then we have ice cream, which is ice cream. And then the last one I have is cake. So cake, I will use for also cupcakes, and it's cake, cake. But yes, a delicious cake. All righty. Let's see. Let's go back. And then there's a few I'm going to add because I'm thinking about them. And then, yeah, that's like, I was thinking about that. I literally was like, wait, I need to tell you how to say chocolate and vanilla. You guys got strawberry, but you don't have chocolate or vanilla. So I'm going to do that now before I forget. So the sign for chocolate is going to be chocolate. So let's see. And you make it in a circle motion on the back of your hand. And then you're going to do the same thing for vanilla, but with a V. Vanilla. Vanilla. So chocolate, vanilla. If you were trying to say something like marble cake where it's mixed, you would do chocolate, vanilla, both. 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 It's almost like I'm grabbing both. Yeah, both. Both. We had strawberry. I'm trying to think of some other popular. Anything like red velvet, those sort of things you could do like the cut like red and then you would finger spell velvet. What's some others? Caramel is finger spelled. I've not seen a sign for that. Any of those sort of other not as common flavors, I would finger spell just to be on the safer side and making sure that you get your point across. And like I said, a lot of times if you're talking to someone, they will even show you that they might show you the sign anyway, so you pick up on it with it. So, okay, let's go back through these signs. And then what we'll do is I will leave it open for if you have any other types of food you can think of, or any questions you have. So all the way back, we have our pizza. So pizza. I know it's such an awkward position. It's like, yeah, it's like you're holding it in your, I don't eat my pizza that way. I eat it this way. So, but that's what they say is like, it's how you hold a pizza. And I remember in class looking at them going, pizza? Like, and they're like, no, they do it this way where it's like they bend it. So pizza. And then pizza with the Z's. Then we had salad. And you almost want to make sure they're going together, like how they're mixing. Yeah, salad. Then we have hamburger. Oh, cheese. How can I forget cheese? And French fries. Oh my gosh, that works out well with this. So the sign for cheese, like if you're saying a cheeseburger, is cheese is going to be the palm of your dominant is gonna go at like it's like very top and then you shake it. Cheese. So this is cheese. If you were saying a cheeseburger, you would go cheese. While we're here, I'm gonna do French fries now. French fries, so simple. It's gonna be an F, and you go French fries. French fries. It's like you're dipping the fries in ketchup, but you also have the two F's for it. I don't know. That one's like, I won't lie. That was like one of the first ones I picked up immediately. I was like, got it. Won't ever forget that one. But I'm biased because I love French fries. So then we have fish. And then spaghetti or pasta. Spaghetti. Then we had meat. I know this one's such a weird one. Miss Katie, I think hates this one of them, because she's also a vegetarian. So she's like, she's like, it's just so descriptive. And I'm like, I know, but it helps you know what you're talking about. And then we have cookie. Oh, wait, no. Yes, you got it. My list is a little off. I was like, wait a minute. Chicken, sorry. Chicken. Then we had our sandwich. Then we had, we'll do our desserts now because we're already here. Like you said, so you got cookie. I did not have to show you cookie, which cracks me up. There's always those few words that's like, I'm not gonna forget that one. I mean, I did the same way. That was French fries for me. So then we had pie. And then ice cream. And then cake. And then our drinks. So we had drink, cup, milk, juice, coffee, tea, water, and then our soda. Yep. Okay, good. I think that was all of them. Are there any other foods you can think of? Some foods, the more less rare, the more not as common, they are usually finger spelled, but I'm trying to think of some. Eggs and bacon. Those are two. So the sign for egg is going to be two H's and you go egg, egg. And it's like you cracked the egg. So egg. And then we have bacon. Bacon's going to be those two H's again. And you're going to go bacon. And it's like the bumps on the bacon. 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 I'm trying to think of, let's see. Cereal is very simple, same as soup. They're the same motion of having it. So for fried food, if you're talking about just like any kind of fried food, a lot of times what you would do is you do the motion for cook. So this is cook. And then do food. If you were talking about fried chicken, you would do the sign for chicken and you can do the motion for cook, or you can do fingerspell fried, since it's a very short word. If you're going to do baked chicken, which I'm like you, I'm a fried chicken person, but my mom's always like baked chicken. You would do bake. Bake. This is the motion for bake. I'm ready to see this. Oh my goodness. That is like one of my favorite dishes. You would fingerspell it all. You do chicken, cordon, blue. I always get the E and U's, but yeah, you would fingerspell. That's like one of my favorites though. So, but yes, you still at least got to, at least you didn't have to spell chicken. You got chicken there. So, let's see, what other kinds of food are there? I'm trying to think. Are there any other foods that you can think of? Stew. Okay. So for that, that would be fingerspelled stew. But I would definitely like, if it's like a beef stew, I would do like meat and then do stew, fingerspelling it. Just because, I feel like stew can be, I don't know, me, I'm like, I need that like extra thing to just kind of add to it. I'm one of those people though. I'm like, I'd rather over describe than under describe. So, but you can always just, if you just didn't want to add like a meat, or if it wasn't like a meat stew, it's like, isn't stew still technically stew with meat in it? I don't know. I'm losing my train of thought with that, but you would just fingerspell stew. Any other foods that you can think of? I'm trying to think of some as well. Oh, seafood. Okay. So for seafood itself, you would fingerspell, but there is shrimp. Shrimp has one, and it's shrimp. Shrimp. Then like I said, the fish. For the different types of fish like tilapia, all tuna, all of those, you would fingerspell. Those do not have their own little sign. I would recommend doing fish and then spelling tilapia. That way they know you're talking about a type of fish. Excuse me. Crab does have its own. Crab with the pinchers. Lobster, I think lobster's the same way. Crab may be like with the smaller one and lobster's with bigger. I'll check on that and see, because I think that's how that one is. I always do that, and then usually for lobster I fingerspell it, just to be clear, since they're very similar. I'm pretty sure, I'm thinking this might be it though. It's like the smaller, bigger. But yeah, what else is scallops? I would fingerspell. That one. Oh wait, you had another one. Lasagna. That is one that I've not actually seen, and I've not actually ever had a conversation with someone about it. I'm gonna check on that. I think it might be fingerspelled, but you never know. Some food will just randomly have a sign, and I will think, no, they wouldn't have that, and they do. Like, I think I remember when I was learning egg, because I kind of, at that point, I was like, okay, most of these things, if their words are 3 letters or shorter, they're fingerspelled. And then they're like, no, egg has one. And I was like, okay, well, how does that make sense? How does lasagna have nothing, but then egg has a one? Like, so I will definitely check on it. Let me type that in before I forget it. Lasagna. I have a feeling, like, I want to be like, oh yeah, I just would fingerspell it, but I could see something about like layers and meat. Like I could see there being a sign with it. So get our lasagna, and then I'll check with crab and lobster again. Any others you guys can think of? Here we go. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some as well. I'm trying to think. My dogs are so mad they're outside right now. They're just like, I can hear, they're right by the window door, and I have a very large glass door so they can see me. And I'm just like, you will come in soon.
Did you not see ours just poke the head over the table?
Oh, mine would do that if he could reach. Luckily I have almost like one of those bar stool ends on my kitchen. So it's higher up. It's too high for him to do it. But like during COVID, when we were teaching virtually, my dogs would just come barging in and would get all up in the camera screen and be blocking me because I'd be sitting on the couch and they'd cover the screen, and I'd be like, they would just see little faces sticking out over them, being like, hold on a second. And my kids would get so excited. They're just like, oh, doggies. And I'd be like trying to get their attention back. And they're just like staring at my dogs at the bottom of the screen. I was like, okay. So, especially my little one, she would just, because she wanted to sit in my lap, or she would sit behind me on the couch. And like my kids, I mean, they are so focused on my dogs. Every year, my kids are like, oh, let me see a picture of your dogs. And like that's my lock screen. So like if it pulls up, they're like, oh, and they just get all up on my dogs. I'm like, I know you guys, but you know, they're cute, but they're not that cute. Let's come back to the lesson real quick. So it's easy to do that. And Miss Katie's cat is always like, it cracks me up when I watch her walking behind her, and she does, yeah, and she's just going away, and I'm like, hello, little cat, I see you. So, anyways, are there any other questions you guys have? Are you good? I'd say we can end here because I gave you guys a lot of signs. Usually the food one is one of those big ones. Next week's is going to be another big one, because next week's is going to be animals. Oh, what happened there? And that one's always kind of a fun one. There's a lot of signs, I will warn you. And so think of some fun animals you guys can think of, because every year, there's always one, every class. I'm one of those people that's like, every year, there's always a new thing. I'm like, this is classes every 8 weeks. It's not just every year. But there's always one animal that someone will ask me, and I'm like, oh, I've never gotten that one before. So, but that's what we'll do next week. I hope you guys had an awesome Halloween yesterday. It was such a nice weather outside last night too. It was perfect in my opinion. I thought it was good. I stayed and helped out, hand out the candy, and so we sat and had a nice little bonfire while we were waiting for the kids to come, and it was very nice. So hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Let me end this recording before I forget.